Laura Henry, and I am a craft dabbler, and I'm also a close to my heart consultant. Today I want to show you projects from 2 stamp sets and 2 thin cut sets. Close to My Heart offers a stamp set each month for $5 with a $50 purchase, or you can buy it at regular price if you don't qualify for the reduced price. This month it is Just Treats, which is one of the sets I'm showing you today. There are lots of small images that can be used on tags, treat bags, or cards for Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. I've put together 3 cards and several treat boxes using the Favor Box Thin Cut. I was really hoping the phrases would fit on the Favor Box, but only one phrase fit well. But as you can see, I was able to make a variety of Favor Boxes using this set as well as the Hello Pumpkin card making set, which has a matching thin cut, which I used off camera. To keep the video short, I'm not showing how I made all of my cards and boxes, but I'll put together a box to show you just how easy it is. Almost everything I use today can be found in the new Holiday Expressions catalog, which is good from September 1st through December 31st. I used some Christmas papers from last year which aren't available anymore, but I'm sure you could substitute with some of the new papers or something you have in your stash. Here is the Hello Pumpkin card making and thin cut set. Although I'm not going to be showing you how I put together the 3 cards, I did want to show you where I got my ideas from. And I am using Make It From the Heart Volume 4, which is a book of templates that you can purchase from Close to My Heart. When you purchase these, it doesn't come with the binder. You have to buy that binder separately. And then you put the pages in. And I was able to get Volume 3 and Volume 4 in one binder. So I'm showing you how they give you the idea, they give you the dimensions, so you know how to cut out your papers and how many contrasting papers you're going to use, and then it's up to you to put that together. And in the new catalog, they have a new book that is a color book, and so it doesn't have any new designs in it, but it does show color combinations, and then it uses the patterns from the Make It From the Heart, and so you can um, use that as a reference and then use the new colors. And they have come out with new colors and done away with some of the other colors, so I think it's very nice that they give you so many good ideas and references to put things together. Sometimes that can be a difficult challenge. So there were all the projects that I made, and I just tried to cut out some things to show you that the phrases that are included in that kit will fit inside that little die cut that I think is really nice. And there I made a little tag with that coffee cup, and that tag is being discontinued. It's right now, you could probably still buy it, but it's only available while supplies last. But the little coffee cup stamped on there was really cute. So this is my Cuddle Bug, and I'm showing you the different plates and the magnetic plate, and then the clear, I'm not sure what those are called, that you layer your paper in between. And I've cut a piece of paper 6 by 8, and that's pattern paper, and it has some lines on it. So I'm lining up the side of my die with those lines so that it'll be straight. And I also thought I wanted on my box the lines to be um, vertical, so I was sure to cut my 6 by 8 in the manner that the vertical stripes would be on the box correctly. So you have to put a little bit of thought into that sometimes when you're preparing your paper. So I sandwiched that, and if you noticed, I put the die on so that the cutting part of it is facing up, and I just recently learned that that is a good way to make your plates not warp. But this is rather thick, and I had a hard time getting it through the Cuddle Bug, and you can see it just shot out like a bullet when it was done. I've never had that happen to me before, but it was okay, and so I cut out that one, and that is a piece of patterned paper, and that is from last year's collection, so that is not available unless you have some left over from last year. And then you can see it pokes the little holes out so you can tie your box up. And I cut out a piece in black, and all of the examples that I had were on just plain white cardstock, and so I wanted to show you that you can use the pattern papers to make these treat boxes, and they're very pretty, and it doesn't take a whole lot of embellishing when you use the pattern papers. So I'm loading this up again, and I think this die is so big and it fills the plate and it's just right up against the edge. So I had a hard time getting it started through the Cuttlebug. Um, so I was using a bigger Sizzix when I was cutting some of my other ones out. I didn't have as much trouble with the bigger die cutting machine, but the Cuttlebug was not handling this die very well. But the Cuttlebug, I end up getting it back out here in a second to cut a circle, and it handles the circle just fine. I think it's because it's not up next to the edge of the plates. So there's my black box that I'm cutting out, and it scores the lines so that you know exactly where to fold that to make your treat box. And these were really easy to put together, and you could use a tape to put them together, but I used the liquid glass adhesive, which is a very strong and very quick drying adhesive that close to my heart sells. It will dry shiny, so if you get it where you don't want it, it will leave a shiny residue, but it is a very strong adhesive. So that is why I used that one. So I got my Cuttlebug back out because I'm going to make like a moon. It's a yellow moon, but I'm going to put a moon on here for kind of a Halloween themed bag. I always use tape to secure the paper to my die because I flip it over upside down and then that magnetic plate doesn't grip it as well. But that way it doesn't warp those cutting plates. And so I really like cutting upside down better. So there I've made my circle, and it has the stitched outline around the inside edge of the circle, and that is fairly new to close to my heart. They have regular circles and then they have those with the stitch die, and I just thought the stitch die is pretty cute, so that's why I picked that one. And I used the second to largest circle. As you see there, it comes in a set with 4 different circles. And then I'm just putting that away. And I like that, the portability of that Cuttlebug. And here I'm showing you this craft mat. A lot of companies have these craft mats, but you see that it kind of clings to my table. It's not sticky, it doesn't leave any residue behind, but it grips to my table, and so it never slides around on me. And there I'm showing you where it's at in the catalog. And I just really, really love that craft mat. It is very handy, and I love the way it doesn't move on me. So here I'm just folding the paper along the lines they're kind of pre-scored for us by the die, and that just makes gluing it together easier. And so while I was doing this, I found out that it was easiest to glue the bottom tab first, that glues the bottom up, and I just put a little bit, and this glue bottle will get a little bit clogged. I keep a pin handy, and then I unclog it, and I'll show you that. But this is another thing I found. If you thread through that bottom, it cuts the slits in there, and if you feed your ribbon through that before you start gluing, it is a lot easier. Now, it's not impossible to put the ribbon through there after the fact once you get your box made, but it is a lot easier to do it now. So just try not to get your glue on the ribbon, but if you're careful, it's not a problem. I did almost all my boxes like this. So I'm gluing that bottom tab, and I think here I'm having a little bit of trouble. And I think if you wipe off the lid before you're done, it doesn't clog so much. But I've been kind of lazy today, and I was using my glue a lot, and so it ended up drying out a little bit. And so it does not take long. I just press those together, and I try to pinch it from the inside a little bit. And in just a matter of seconds, that's glued on there pretty good. So I'm trying to be careful and not get that because, like I said, that is a glossy glue. And so if I get it other places, then it will remain shiny even after it dries, which is sometimes good on a project if you want something glossy. But I didn't really want that effect right now. So it just takes me a few minutes here to glue all my sides together. And there I'm gluing the last bottom portion and then the side together. And this is probably the trickiest edge to do because, you know, I'm kind of a perfectionist and want all my edges to line up perfectly. And so, you know, I'm just kind of working with it and trying to get it together. Next, I'm going to embellish this with the circle that I cut to be the moon, I think. I might be putting the ribbon on. Nope, I'm going to work on this. So that's my moon, and I flipped it over to find one of the sides just looks a little bit better with those perforated stitch lines. And I'm showing you here there's two bats, a smaller bat and a larger bat. And I thought it would be cute if I stamped bats on my moon. So I had already put them on my stamp, my acrylic block, in a position that I thought would look good on the moon. And I'm going to stamp it. Now, the smallest bat on the edge of his wing was not the clearest impression, but I did not remember to put the little foam pad underneath it that comes in the stamp set, which is kind of a cushion, and it helps you to get a better impression. So I think I'd have had a better impression had I done that. That is the stamp cleaner. I'm using the Close to My Heart stamp cleaner, but then we have that scrubby brush, and I really find that that does a very good job cleaning the acrylic stamps. It gets into all the little cracks and gets everything out. And then I just peel it right off of there, and occasionally I'll, you know, dab it onto a paper towel to dry it off, but it dries very quickly, and I think it does a great job cleaning the stamps. So here I'm trying to get some more glue out to put on my moon, and I end up having to get my pin out to unclog my lid. And honestly, I made several projects today, and I didn't have to do this very often, but of course, for the camera, I have to do it here. So I'm trying to be careful not to get it too close to the edge so it doesn't seep out, and then turn my bats around where they're not upside down. And that fits perfectly on the front of one of those treat bags. And like I said, that's the second to largest circle. And now I'm going to weave the ribbon onto the side, and there's two holes on each top flap. And so I go in through the bottom hole and then out through the top hole, and I'm just straightening my ribbon so that it lays flat. And this is a Close to My Heart ribbon, and I think it's still available, but it is deceptive. When it was on the roll, I thought it was going to be a very stiff ribbon, but it is really flexible and soft, and I thought it did a great job on these treat bags, where some of the other ribbons were a little bit more coarse, but they still worked. But this was a really nice ribbon. I was very pleased with it. So I'm just pulling it up to make it more even, and then just tying a bow at the top, and that pulls the two top tabs together and holds the treat box closed. So I didn't put candy in this, but you sure could fill this with candy. I thought this would be, and treat boxes would be a nice gift to give to special little ones that come to your door at Halloween. And these aren't limited to Halloween. You could make little treat boxes for favors to put on your table at Christmas time or for Thanksgiving. So these birthday parties, you could just anytime. And there's the treat box finished. So I didn't show putting together that pattern box because I didn't think you really wanted to see it again. But this is one of the pumpkins that I cut out from that other set. And I just layered up the different colors. There's a lighter yellow, and then the orange, and here I'm using the um, dimensional tape to just give this a little bit of dimension on my treat box. So I stamped that out, and then I cut it out with a thin cut, and now I'm just gonna adorn the box with that. And I use it's kind of a burlap ribbon, and to tie that one shut. All right, so this is the new seasonal expression catalog, and it's good September 1st through December 31st. So I'd be happy if you don't have a close to my heart consultant. If you would like to order from me, I would be happy to take care of you. I thank you so much for watching my video today and have a great day.